getting that break in the brutal cold wave. Transitioning, hopefully, into a warmer, but definitely a wet morning. Wintertime ailments, viruses, and illnesses, though, are still prevailing with the norovirus at a 10-year high. And so many patients are very young children. And this virus, well, there's no vaccine for it. So personal hygiene is the best and maybe only prevention method. We're hopefully transitioning into spring, but let's make sure that this transition is smooth and that we keep healthy. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Wednesday, February 12th on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well. And just in case you haven't peeked out your window yet, because it is really, really pitch black right now, yes, it's raining. It is definitely raining. Well, this story, I think it's going to make you want to just go and wash your hands. Norovirus. Yes, norovirus cases are at a 10-year high. So the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, or KDCA, noted a persistent increase in norovirus cases since the first week of November. It reached a peak in the last week of January. So what's really concerning is that over half of all cases are like I said, among the really young children out there. We're talking about infants to young children, 6 or younger. So actually, the norovirus is the most common in wintertime among young children. And the most common pathway for infection is by eating contaminated foods, such as oysters, whether they're raw or undercooked, or drinking contaminated water, or even through droplets. That's how it's passed on to another person. Most common symptoms include things like vomiting, diarrhea, along with a stomach pain, muscle aches, and fever. And so the symptoms, they usually go away after 2 to 3 days. The problem is that there is no vaccination against this virus, norovirus. So the best way to prevent from getting it is to wash your hands thoroughly and fully cook your food. So hypothermia and other wintertime ailments are still common. So when I'm talking about hypothermia, we're talking about 저체온증, with the KDCA reporting 233 cold wave-related illnesses across emergency rooms this winter. So the most common was hypothermia, and then frostbite, 동상, with seniors over 65 being the most vulnerable group. So with these seasonal illnesses, children and the elderly are considered the most vulnerable, as we always try to relate to you, right? Let's make sure that they and the rest of us, we are safe for the remaining days of winter. So today, yes, definitely raining out there right now. Now it's time for a text topic. Are you ready? All right. What are you into these days? What brings you joy? What kind of keeps you going? What intrigues you? That is a text topic. 자, 요즘 나를 즐겁게 하는 게 뭘까요? 내가 빠져 있는 거 혹은 관심을 가지고 있는 것은 whether it's some sort of activity, 무슨 활동인지, hobby, or maybe it's a person, I don't know. So whatever it is, tell us what brings you joy. You can send in your messages to BEFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. So go to the YouTube platform and search for BEFM or 부산영어방송. To find our channel, click on the icon, subscribe. You can log in and chat away with our other waivers. Also, on your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050, but that's going to cost you 101. Another great way for you to get in touch with me is through our Kakao Talk channel as well. Same thing there. You go to add a friend, 친구 찾기, look for BEFM or type in BEFM or 부산영어방송 to add us as a friend first, and then you can send in your messages, photos as well. And the ways you can listen to our program, Morning Wave in Busan, through the radio, 90.5 or 103.3 FM in the Busan area. Like I said, we are streaming live right now as we speak on YouTube, and you can watch again at your leisure. We also have 2 apps where you can listen to us. So we have the BEFM app itself. It is free, easy to download, as well as the Patbang app. looking ahead to our hump day together. We have Claire coming in for what's basically in the now. However, for the next few weeks, like she said, she's going to be focusing on reality shows. So very, very interesting. And then we have Jennifer coming in for Skills 101. That's in hour number 2. For our special interview, well, we have touched upon this asteroid that could hit our planet Earth in a few years. So, the experts, they're keeping a close eye on this because obviously, we want to be safe, but what do we need to know about this asteroid? What's the possibility that it could come near or, into colliding with Earth? We need to find out more, right? Because we are going to be here, hopefully, in the year 2032. That's coming up in hour number 2. I'll be back with today's headlines. The time is now 7:06. These are today's headlines. Witnesses testify about December 3rd during impeachment trial. Witnesses at the 7th oral arguments of President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment trial testified to the urgency of the night of December 3rd, while the President of the National Assembly's representative publicly clashed at the hearing. Government response to U.S. steel and aluminum tariffs. The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy said yesterday that it is closely communicating with local businesses to minimize the impact from new U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. Teacher in fatal stabbing expressed frustration at school. A teacher accused of stabbing an 8-year-old student to death at an elementary school in Daejeon has said she was annoyed at being excluded from a class, police said yesterday. Netanyahu threatens to end Gaza ceasefire. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the Gaza ceasefire will end if Hamas does not release Israeli hostages on Saturday, after Hamas said it would not release 3 Israelis as planned this weekend. Speed skater Lee Seung-hoon writes history at Asian Winter Games. South Korea collected 4 more medals in speed skating at the Asian Winter Games in China yesterday, including Lee Seung-hoon, who won the silver in men's team pursuit, setting the record for winning the most Asian Games medals. And these are today's headlines. It's time for Busan Updates. We have Sue in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So before we get into Busan Updates, I want to know what intrigues you or what are you really into right now?
Shame on me.
Uh-huh.
I really need to think hard about that question.
Okay.
But thank you for the reminder. Before I used to watch K-dramas a lot. 그런데 이제는 드라마도 안 봅니다.
Is there a reason? Are you too busy?
드라마 보면은 연애하고 싶거든요.
For real?
Tears.
Oh, tears streaming down. Oh, so you stay away from K-dramas because they might want, make you feel like...
Sometimes it pushes my button.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So what's wrong with me? And I don't want to, beat myself up, but yeah. Sometimes I go down that road.
Really?
But, yeah.
I have like the opposite because I'm, I have a roommate. So I kind of live vicariously through the single characters of K-dramas. So, I can see it from your perspective, though.
Thank you for your understanding.
Yes. Well, thanks for sharing. Let's get into our first update. The city's popular tourist destination we know as Kamtan Culture Village is reviewing measures to better manage over-tourism. This is an issue worldwide.
Sagu district has initiated a study to see if the village should be designated as a special management area. This study is a follow-up to the Kamtan Culture Village Tourism Activation Master Plan, and it addresses ongoing issues related to overcrowding and its negative impact on residents. The district is working on a comprehensive comprehensive master plan, which includes 22 projects to balance tourism with the local community's needs. The final decision is expected by September after public hearings and further discussions. If it is approved, measures such as restrictions on visiting hours and limits on pedestrian and vehicle access with fines or violations will be established. And Kamcheon Village will become the third area in South Korea to receive such a designation after Jongno-gu district in Seoul and Yeoncheon-gun county in Gyeonggi-do province. The village was once an impoverished area with refugees settling during the Korean War. However, it has evolved into a major tourist destination, attracting over 2 million visitors annually.
Right.
And the rise in tourism has led to complaints from residents. The district is trying to find sustainable solutions.
Right. Because of course we want there to be tourism and revenue, but of course we don't want to disturb the residents there. So this is a real issue. Thanks for covering this one. Next up, let's talk about Busan Metropolitan Corporation, which is they're going for this whole theme. Try living for 6 years to decide. What is this?
So this Busan Metropolitan Corporation is planning to launch a selective public rental housing program in order to offer flexibility for long-term ownership decisions. So residents can live in rental housing for up to 6 years before deciding whether to purchase the unit at the end of their lease period. And this program will be implemented in the ecodelta시티 waterfront area in Gangso-gu district.
I see. So tell us more about this project.
The corporation is planning to develop 1,674 units in blocks 25 and 26 of ecodelta시티. The size of the unit will be 85 square meters or smaller, and the construction will begin in 2027.
Right.
And 90% of the units will be reserved for youth, families with multiple children, newlyweds, first-time home buyers, and those supporting newborns or elderly parents. And the rest of 10% of the units will be provided to applicants who need actual housing and do not own a home. So this program offers a practical alternative to traditional renter or home ownership models.
Yes. So hopefully more residents, after they try out the housing, they can maybe transition into ownership if they want to. All right, next up, 해운대구 district has announced that it's going to provide up to 300,000 won in job-seeking support for unemployed youth, right?
Yes. Young job seekers will have less financial burden while searching for work. Through this program, job search-related expenses such as transportation, resume preparation, and interview costs will be covered with this allowance.
Yes, so we need to know who's eligible. I mean, who's considered like unemployed youth?
So the program is available to young residents of Haeundae aged 19 to 39, and their income level should be in the range of 150% or less of the median income 중위소득 as of February 3rd.
Okay.
And there are no educational requirements, and the support is available to graduates, dropouts, those who are not enrolled in employment insurance, and individuals not registered as business owners. And approximately 200 individuals will be able to access this support.
I see. So if you fall into this category and you need the support, maybe you can check this out or let somebody know who might fall into this category. All right. Lastly, let's talk about academy courses, which will be offered at the Busan Cultural Center.
Catherine, I believe everyone is an artist in some ways, and those who are keen on further developing their art skills, this might be the opportunity. So starting in March, the center will launch a new arts academy program called I Am an Artist in collaboration with Busan City art organization 시립예술단. The academy will offer classes in 3 fields: traditional Korean music, 국악, dance, and youth choir. And this program focuses on live performance on stage and help participants to experience the depth and professionalism of the arts. For details of the program information and application for the courses, please visit the center's official website.
Well, you said at the beginning that you believe everyone's an artist. So which category do you fall under?
Oh, so this is for music.
Oh, music.
Yes.
You're musically inclined?
Am I?
Yes.
I think so in a way. I like to dance.
Oh,
but
dance.
when no one's looking at me.
Oh, we need proof of that. Well, in addition to all of this, the Busan Cultural Foundation is also launching an art education support program and their recruiting organization. So we need the details on this.
Yes. This 2025 15-minute city cultural arts education program promotes cultural arts education in alignment with the city's 15-minute city concept.
Yes.
The goal is to foster creative aging across all life stages and use the arts to solve community issues. To be more specific, the 15-minute city concept focuses on creating urban spaces where people can access most of their daily needs, such as work, schools, healthcare, and leisure, within a 15-minute walk or bike ride from their home.
Sure.
So this program supports this urban model and promotes social engagement through the arts.
Ah, yes. And I hear that the foundation is going to provide a total of 700 million won for 2 types of categories. So we need further details on this.
So first one is about regional support programs. So projects will focus on solving local community problems through social participation in the arts. And another one is lifespan specific support programs, and these will promote creative aging for individuals of all ages, from children and youth to young adults and seniors.
Okay.
So applications are due by the 13th, and selected organizations will receive funding for planning costs, instructor fees, and other program-related expenses.
Ah, well, so that means the deadline's like tomorrow. So hopefully if you are into this, you can apply by tomorrow. So thanks for all the updates, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
All right, and I'll be back with your traffic and weather. It is now time for your traffic report. It looks congested on Luno Samsung-dae right now from Myeongji underpass to the Shino Bridge. Also, it looks slow on the Dongso overpass from Bumnikor ramp to the old Kaegum toll gate. Also congestion on the Namhae Expressway from Namsanjeong Station to Deokcheon Interchange overpass. As for the weather, well, today is that day. We're talking about Jeongwal Daeborum, the first full moon in the lunar calendar, a major traditional holiday to prepare for the year ahead. So currently it is 3 degrees Celsius here in Busan, but yes, it's definitely raining, and we're getting reports that some parts of the city are seeing snow. The daytime high will go up to 11 degrees with rain coming down sporadically. The roads might be icy, so please be careful out there. Otherwise, across the country, snow is coming down heavily in many parts of the nation, but most of the country is seeing temperatures above 0 for the first time in a while at this time. And this was your traffic and weather.
Are you an early bird? Are you up to date on the news? Are you a trendsetter? For all of the biggest issues from Busan to the world and useful information you need, right here on Morning Wave in Busan.
It's now time for News Digest. We have Haley here. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, so I want to know, what are you into these days?
So since the Grammys, I've been really into Kendrick Lamar.
I know it seems like you have. Like,
I have
been
yeah.
digging into this.
I'm down the rabbit hole. I think I'm going to come out today because we have for a wager, little preview, little spoiler.
Yes.
We have the whole Kendrick versus Drake
beef
thing,
Yeah.
beef going on. And then also, I think cultural journal, because it is awards season and the Oscar nominations are out. So every year I do have this lofty goal of I'm going to watch all the Best Picture nominated films. I'm on like 2 out of 10 right now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. But they do get released after the Academy Awards. So I'm going to
Yes.
be at the movies for about a month. Yeah. Fingers crossed that I do
ask
get
me
those.
what I've been into.
Yeah. What are you, I like
Since
your
no one
earrings, by the
asked.
way. But what are you? I'm into your earrings. You're
my
very
earrings?
sparkly. Yeah.
I'm wearing, there's a reason.
Oh?
I'm wearing Apple earrings today because my niece is graduating.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, I just wanted to pay homage to her teachers.
By the way, apples, it's a symbol for teachers in the States. Our
right.
Korean listeners might be like, why?
Why she wears 사과? So there's a little bit of symbolism there, just for me. And I was like, so proud of her. She's graduating from elementary school. And then right after Morning Wave in Busan, I'm going to be heading over in the rain to her graduation.
Oh, congratulations, Chloe.
Chloe.
Right?
Oh, you have such a good memory. So yes.
All right, so what are you into?
These days, I don't know. I have fallen in love with cooking again. I always cook.
She has.
She
really
I cook
has.
because I have to. Because I can't
you
afford to eat out.
You have
like,
mouths to feed at home.
Right, but then like I'm kind of like rediscovering it again. For a while, I was kind of like, oh, 너무 하기 싫어요. Like if there's something that you have to do, like it's a chore.
It's a chore.
It's a chore, right? 하기 싫잖아요. 근데 I don't know. Like I've been like.
Guys, she made naan.
And like
I saw on
even
social media.
손칼국수, I've been into like just making like everything from scratch.
Well done.
I don't know.
Well, I'm waiting for the soft opening of Casa de Catherine. So yeah.
Yes. So hopefully, I don't know, that will continue for at least a couple more weekends. Let's jump into our first bit of news. And this is a tragedy that has really shaken up the entire nation. Everybody's talking about this. We're referring to the death of an 8-year-old little girl in Daejeon.
Right. So before we start the story, the family has decided to disclose the name and the face of the victim, 8-year-old Kim Haneul, to send a message that such a tragedy should never happen again. So the elementary school teacher in her 40s allegedly stabbed Haneul to death and tried to hurt herself. So the Daejeon Seobu police, they've requested an autopsy of the National Forensic Service, and the cause of death for the child, at least according to the preliminary screening, was excessive bleeding. So in the course of the questioning, the teacher told the police that she was 짜증났다 is the wording she used. It's been translated to annoyed, perhaps irritated with the school for not letting her go to classes, not letting her teach. And she allegedly bought this weapon that she used in the afternoon of the incident. And she claims that she wanted to, by the way, this is obviously trigger warning, kill herself and die with the child. She stated that she didn't have any one particular victim in mind and lured the last student who came out of the class to the audio-visual room. The police are looking into releasing the identity of the suspect. She is currently hospitalized and further questioning will continue once she's in a more stable condition.
And the thing is this, what really bothers me about this whole incident, aside from the fact that a little girl died, is that there are reports that say there may have been some like warning signs or telltale signs concerning signs before the incident.
Right. So the week before, according to the Daejeon Office of Education and the police, on February 6th, there was an altercation between this teacher and another teacher.
Yes.
So this teacher, the suspect, she was hunched over at her desk or somewhere when a coworker came over and asked what was wrong. At this point, she allegedly grabbed this coworker's arm and tried to twist it. So there was a outburst.
Physical, yeah.
There was an outburst.
Right.
So the school didn't report it to the police, but they did strongly recommend that she go back on leave.
And the big question is this, why didn't she?
Well, it turns out that she did come back recently, and this has been widely reported, from leave back in December from depression. The school reportedly told the Office of Education that there needs to be some measures taken about this. However, the Daejeon Education Office said that according to its policy, a person cannot take additional leave for the same ailment, for the same reason. And I do want to make an important point here. It has been, as I said, reported that she went on leave for depression, and she did suffer from depression, but it hasn't been concretely proven that this was the cause of the outburst.
Exactly.
And experts have also expressed concern at the media mentioning depression and implying this as possibly the root cause, because this may stigmatize depression and prevent people who do need help from getting help.
Right.
And I'm citing an expert, Professor Na Jong-ho at Yale Medical School, said that in South Korea, 9 out of 10 people who need treatment for depression don't get the help that they need. So, by the way, in terms of prevention measures and what's being done, Busan Office of Education held an emergency meeting yesterday, and they decided to have at least 2 faculty members at all elementary schools present after 6 p.m. But once again, there are many, many issues that need to be addressed.
Right. And, the whole issue about depression, I'm so glad that you brought that up because we don't know for sure.
Right.
If that was the cause of anything.
I mean, with any mental illness, we do want to be very careful in tying that to any particular crime because often it's not. It's an outlier.
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly. All right. So, in the opening, I talked about norovirus, obviously. But, this flu season has been really rough. I mean, we know lots of people who have gotten sick. Haley and I, we both just had the common cold, right? Knock on wood, everything crossed. But getting the flu is not only painful, but apparently expensive.
You've had the flu, right?
Yes.
A couple years ago, there was
It
that
was
year
bad.
where it was
I
like
was just-
the year of the flu for you. Sorry, but
It was.
it really was. Was it expensive?
Cute Umberto. I know what
Yeah.
Umberto is going to say, but anyhow, yeah. No, it was like painful, like
Right,
physically.
right.
But it was also painful, like, because I wanted to get better.
Cost-wise,
I wanted
yeah.
to go in and get my IVs.
And
like,
here's the thing, and
Yes.
that's the thing, because you wanted to come back to work
Yes.
quickly. So, and by the way, that will cost you.
Oh, yeah.
So you go to the doctor for the flu, and the bill, apparently, according to reports, the bill at least 100,000 won. 10만 원.
really?
Up to 200,000 won, 20만 원. And I do hear like some of our American listeners saying, isn't that
Normal?
That's what happens. But it really isn't, because
It's not.
I mean, I visited the doctor for my cold, and I went on a Saturday, so there was like an extra
Extra charge,
charge. But
yes.
even with that, it was like under 만 원.
Exactly.
Right.
Under 10,000
So
won.
this is not common in South Korea. So why? Well, let's
Yes.
parse through your flu bill. So first part is inevitable. You have to get tested on whether you have the flu or not. So that is the antigen test. That's not covered by insurance. So the patient covers the entire cost of the bill, about 30,000 won, 3만 원. So that's already pretty expensive.
Yes.
And then there are the treatments. And it depends on which treatment you choose. It's either covered or not covered by
Right.
insurance. So Tamiflu is covered by insurance. This is one you take orally. So the patient pays about 만 원, 10,000 won. However, but
got the
that's
other
a
one.
5-day
Day
course.
course, yes.
But then if you just want kind of a one and done deal, it's
Yes.
called Paramiflu. I'm sorry, Paramiflu. That's not covered. That's the IV. That's the intravenous
That's the one I got.
drip, and that costs, depending on where you go, 70 to 150,000 won.
Right.
This is it's gotten very popular because you just get one and you're done.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying you get immediately better, but you don't need to take it twice a day for 5 days.
Exactly.
So this has gotten so popular that there was even a shortage at one point last year. And then add to that, if you're getting, fever-reducing shots or other IV fluids, I mean, it's going up and up and up and up. So this is an issue of preference, but then there's also been a criticism of overtreatment on the part of doctors prescribing these non-insurance covered items.
Okay.
So health insurance companies, this is kind of a trend. They've been competitively selling flu insurance.
There's
so
flu insurance?
There's a little flu insurance package. You pay
Okay.
about 1,000 won to 3,000 won payments per month, and that covers any flu treatments within a year,
Including the expensive one?
including the expensive one. Right. So thus the intrigue. Well, the Korea Medical Association, the KMA, issued a statement saying that these insurance packages, this is addressing the criticism, they're voluntary and they're
Yes.
a natural part of the market. But then in the background, there are concerns that the kind of privatization of flu treatments could lead to gaps in treatment, depending on how much you can afford to pay.
That's true. Because you might think, what's 1 to 3,000 won? But every month, and then if there are multiple people in your family, that adds
I
up.
mean,
So-
imagine your entire family of 4, you get sick, and you're
Yeah.
paying like 50만 원, 60만 원 out for flu treatment. Right.
I just had chills thinking about that. Not in a good way.
You're going to wear a mask at home now.
Hello.
Right.
Okay. Up next, starting this month, working parents can use up to 3 years of childcare leave.
Combined between the two
Combined.
parents. Right.
'Cause I was
right.
going to say, do I need to have another child?
I mean, if you
No.
want to contribute to the birth rate.
That ship has sailed. Okay, so sorry.
All right.
Just putting it out there. No. Okay.
There's that. Now we
Yeah.
know. So the Labor Ministry announced
Yes.
that the cabinet passed the executive order on 3 childcare support acts. So currently, the law provides for 2 years of childcare leave, 육아휴직, for working parents. But under the changes, this will be extended to a year and a half per parent for 3 years total. So parents you don't have to use it all at once. You can divide it up to 3 separate leaves. But for a parent to be able to use this maximum of a year and a half, both parents must at least use 3 months of leave. Exemptions for, of course, single parents and parents who have children with severe disabilities.
Okay.
Also, the husband can use up to 20 days off for when the child is born, and that can be used in 3 separate chunks within the first 120 days of the child's life.
Okay, that's useful.
Right. Because sometimes you don't need, immediately when the child is born, usually when the mom goes into postpartum care,
Right.
the home's empty anyway.
Like,
Yeah.
you're just going to
What are
be
you going to do?
yourself, right?
Maybe putting together the crib,
Yes.
cleaning, but you don't need 20 days. By the way, this applies to parents, even those who have used their leave already. So it's
Yes.
applied to the difference between how much they use versus how much they have left under the new rules. By the way, full details are available at www.worklife.kr.
Leslie has a question.
Yes.
Is that for each child or the total for total child count?
Oh, that's a good question. And full details are available
On the
at
website.
worklife.kr. I'll look into it
And
after I'm
Umberto
out.
says,
Yeah.
is Haley next on the birth rate contribution?
I mean, far down the. I did raise a lot. I never had my own, but I did raise some kids. So
She raised her
I'm
younger
hoping it
sister.
counts as like at least 0.7 to the birth rate. I don't know. We can talk
for
about
me,
that.
yeah.
But yeah.
I always say that factory closed, ship has sailed, not going to happen. But in the beginning, when I first got, my roommate,
Yeah.
I wanted 5
You
kids.
got your roommate?
I got my roommate. I told him, I was like, I want 5 children.
kids?
What was I thinking? I was
I
young
don't
and
know.
stupid and in my 20s. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Final story. Let's go to the precarious ceasefire, the situation in Gaza. What's going on?
It is precarious on thin ice, eggshells, whatever metaphor you want to throw in there, because Hamas has delayed the release of Israeli hostages indefinitely over these alleged violations of the ceasefire deal. The Israeli authorities are presuming to be preparing for the war to resume. U.S. President Donald Trump kind of threatened that all heck will break loose if they don't immediately return all of the hostages or on the scheduled date. So Hamas said in a statement that the door remains open for the next hostage exchange, and it urged mediators to pressure Israel to fulfill its obligations.
So what could be the reason for Hamas suddenly delaying this exchange?
So pundits have pointed to the kind of the Donald Trump of it all, President Trump's role, because this comes after Trump's controversial comments about his views on Gaza to supposedly renovate it and develop it into the Riviera of the Middle East, but then ultimately displacing the 2 million Gazans to somewhere else, making it kind of another country's problem. He has pointed to Jordan or Egypt to foot the cost or even take the residents. And there is, he's currently meeting with King Abdullah of Jordan has basically honed in on this once again for Jordan to kind of cooperate with this plan.
Yes.
So with this, it seems that Hamas doesn't believe anymore that the U.S. guarantees for the ceasefire will hold and doesn't think that Israel is serious about implementing the plan. Qatar, which is one of the major mediators, it has warned Israel that the ceasefire may be at risk if Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government, they continue to make these provocative statements.
I see. So, of course, very tenuous, but keeping an eye on that region of the world as well. Thank you for all the news, and we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right. So, Umberto says, roommate should come to the show as a special guest. What was my response? Yeah. No, that's my response. Shutting that down hard right now. No. We don't mix work with family. So text topic today is, what are you into these days? What brings you joy? What intrigues you? Might it be reality shows? I know because Claire's coming on with us in a little bit. So looking at some of your responses. Oh, Leslie is doing something that I'm so envious of. Because she says, after taking a one-day pottery class, I loved it so much. Now I'm signed up for a 6-week pot throwing class. And of course, I'm into my cake culture. I'm so jealous. I would love to sign up for like a, at least like a once a week thing. Anything related to art. I've done the 1 day classes, painting. We've done the 1 day pottery. But if I could carve out time to do that, Leslie, I would be doing that right now. Betty says, I am into playing classic video games lately. Ooh, like what kind? tell me what kind. And of course, I'm listening to classic K-pop and more. And that makes him an aficionado. He knows so many like back in the day kind of K-pop songs as well as the current ones. So thank you for your responses. For now, let's get to Cat's Pick. Well, for today's Cat's Pick, I really try to avoid any stories about planes because we've had so many incidents, but this one really did catch my eye. This video that somebody shot, the moment a flight attendant had to restrain a screaming passenger who kind of, latched onto a woman's hair. But apparently it was a violent medical episode, but it was really scary nonetheless. Here's a clip from NBC News.
Disturbing moments on board this Alaska Airlines flight as a passenger appears to lose control. A flight attendant jumping in to subdue the man, at times punching him, trying to get the passenger to release the hair of 32-year-old Erica Ramos sitting in front of him.
I told him her hair, sir. I really wasn't sure what was happening in that moment. I was afraid that this person was going to start punching me.
Erica escaping the seat and the flight attendant calling for backup. Erica says the attack caused painful swelling and she's still getting headaches 9 days later. There was a moment where we actually see your face in that video turn around and look at him. What were you thinking, and did you say anything to him?
I did not say anything to him. I think I was just really in shock. From my understanding of things, he was having a psychotic episode, and I didn't necessarily want to interact with him and possibly make things worse.
The plane, still on the ground, was scheduled to fly to Portland, Oregon from Oakland, California on February 1st, but after the chaotic ordeal, it was forced to return to its gate so authorities could intervene. It's not every day that you see flight attendants throwing punches to try to subdue an unruly passenger. Was that the right move there?
The flight attendant who had to respond to this, the immediate actions that you would take if you were able to take the crew member self-defense training. We're in a confined space. We cannot call for help. There's no other way to do this. And there was imminent danger here. And so the passenger needed to have action against them in order to stop what they were doing in severely harming another passenger.
Alaska Airlines telling NBC News in part that the man appeared to be experiencing a violent medical episode that involved an ongoing physical assault against other passengers and our crew. Our crew responded to the chaotic situation quickly and kept all guests safe, adding that the man has been banned from future flights. The airline has found itself at the center of increased public scrutiny recently after multiple high-profile safety incidents.
Right. So, people were wondering, though, did she have her hair, long hair, over, her seat, or what was the issue? But, according to what I could gather, he might have some mental issues or, some sort of psychological issues. And the thing is this, though, when we get on a plane, we're in an enclosed space with complete strangers when you think about it. We don't know the mental status of every person. And it just kind of, it worries me, the fact that there are so many of these incidents. And I know, yes, it's sensational, but the fact that lots of people traveling, people stressed out, people in confined spaces, and then there are, of course, these mental health issues, more questions than answers at this point. But nonetheless, Cat's Pick for today.
Stay tuned. You're listening to Morning Wave in Busan.
It's now time to check in with Claire. She's in the studio with us for In the Now. How are you?
Good morning, Wavers and Catherine. I learned this last week. I'm back here again with you guys this morning for those who are seeing me for the first time.
Yes.
So let me introduce briefly myself.
Again,
My
yes.
name is Claire. I'm doing 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. news here at BFM.
That's right. She's our newscaster.
And I'm doing well, even with the rain.
Yes. So, hey, last week, were you nervous? Because I know it was your first appearance on a non-news program, right?
That's right.
So were you nervous?
I was super nervous. Couldn't remember what I said.
Really?
Obviously,
Oh, you
yes.
did so well.
I listened back again and I'm like, wow, okay. That's what I did.
It's like, I remember like the first time I monitored myself.
Yeah.
This is before, NoTube on our channel. But I was just like, oh my God, I sound like AI. Like, I sound like a robot. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, to myself.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, don't read, talk. So, no, considering how I sounded first on air, you did well. So,
thank you so much.
Text topic today to kind of,
Right.
So we're talking about things you're into. Aside from reality shows, anything else?
Anything else? Not.
Or is that
not
it?
much lately. Well, I'm doing orchestra kind of thing.
Orchestra.
Yes. So
you're participating in orchestra.
participating. Yes.
What instrument?
Guess? Can you guess?
I can see you as maybe flute. No. Close.
Thank you.
Clarinet. No. Cello.
No. Oh, close.
Drums. Percussions.
Most popular.
Warm, close.
Most popular. Most
Piano. Violin.
Yes.
Violin.
Yes.
She gave me a hint. Our producer was like. She didn't look pretty doing it, so I had to do it like that, right?
So I started the new one, so I'm pretty kind of, it's a project one. So
How long have you been playing the violin?
Since I was 9, 8.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
We got to have you play on air one of these days. Next week, producer says, pressure.
That's a bit too nervous for me. I don't want to bother your ears from the morning.
No, if you've been playing since you're 9, I'm sure it's like you're like superb.
So I learned like the first practice was Sunday, and I was like, I need to practice more.
Oh, really?
That's all in my head. So
has it been
right
a while since you've participated in something like this?
I was in different ones. So
I
this
see, I
is a
see.
new one. So this was the first
Oh, nerve-wracking.
practice with a new music.
Yes.
So I wasn't prepared enough, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Aww.
I need to practice more.
Yes. Oh, people are asking for it. Claire and Michael, we have a music director on our program. Michael, they're asking for like a duet, a collaboration. We'll see the waivers. We'll see. All right.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, she didn't say no though. All right. So what are we going to talk about today?
So as we all know, we talked about the Korean one last week.
Yes.
So we'll move on to the global trend this week. So Catherine, before I go on about it.
Yes.
Have you watched anything from overseas, like obviously US?
Yeah.
Or any other countries?
I have. I don't really keep up with like the reality shows from the US anymore. I do watch like in Korea we call them 미드, like American like dramas
Yeah.
once in a while. Why? What are we talking about today? Like, is that what we're talking about?
So it's as we mentioned, the vast difference, which would be the physical intimacy. There
Yes.
are some trend globally. So shows like they're catering, changing audience preferences, new cultural trends.
Sure.
Yeah, and rising streaming platforms as well for them.
Yes.
So there are a few striking features there. First one will be prioritizing emotional connection, like Love is Blind. Have you heard of?
I've heard of. The thing is, like, I feel like if I start watching one, I'm gonna kind of go down that rabbit hole and like just continue.
You
So
gotta watch marathon.
Right. It's kind of the same thing. Like I stop short of like I don't watch the NoTube. What do they call the shorts? Like, is it reels or shorts or whatever?
Yeah.
I try not to go down that rabbit hole because I feel like I'm gonna get hooked. But of course, I've heard of all the titles. I've seen the promos and all that. Some of them are kind of like compared to Korean content, content. It's like whoa.
Yeah, they
right?
are.
Yes.
So some of them are blending tradition with modern dating, which would be like Indian matchmaking. Or romance meets strategy. This one is also in Korea as well, though, like the deception and money challenge to love. And they also love to show those lavish villas. Like Too hot to handle, like all those kind
I've seen the promos.
you know, like Cancun or like that kind of beaches. And I have never seen these types, but AI tech-driven dating shows as well.
Tech-driven.
Yeah. And there's some inspired like fast-paced formats with speed dating. This one I watched and that's quite funny. First dates.
Okay.
And you know those awkward moments
I'm
on
sure.
first dates.
Yes.
And obviously there's also second chances and ex-related shows as well. And another one would be like fans voting the contestants. So like you have to make love line to stay in the show. If you're just like
to remain relevant and interesting because you want to remain.
I really want to find love. The kind of thing. So those are the trends.
Sure.
And
so in your opinion, what are some of the big differences between like K content with these type of reality shows versus the global ones? I mean, some of them are kind of obvious, but why don't you point them out to us?
So for me, the most interesting thing was, other than the degree of physical intimacy, and all that,
or their lack of.
Yeah. For me, the importance of pop.
밥심.
Yeah. So seriously, no matter what kind of Korean reality show, there always is a scene in eating.
That's true.
Cooking together.
Yeah.
So like, so that naturally leads to they go to the grocery shopping together. Then there's a emotional like interactions with who's gonna go with who's gonna sit where, who's gonna push the cart with someone.
But you know that pushing. Okay, I have a question for all the waivers out there. Like going to a supermarket or 한국에서 대형마트 갈 때, like. The whole idea of like going with like, you know, someone of a partner or potential partner, like, is that intimate? I'm not talking about like intimacy, like in the bed, but I'm saying like, isn't that kind of, I don't know, like
kind of romantic.
It is. It could be romantic or like kind of intimate, right?
Yeah,
in that sense,
it is because you're experiencing the future possible life,
and then I would think as a single person, you start kind of. At least wondering, like, can I imagine myself pushing a cart with this person. This man, like, you know, beyond this date?
Yes,
right.
Yes. So that's kind of showing the intimacy, and then you know that highlights the difference in how food is valued. In different cultures.
That's true.
So, for example, as you know, 방문나 in Busan or 밥은 in standard Korean.
Yes.
Means how are you? Not that I'm really interested in like, are you hungry or have you eaten?
But in the beginning, when I first came to Korea, I was kind of fascinated. Everybody's asking like if I ate. Like, I ate. It's 3, so that means I had lunch.
Yeah.
But then I realized it's kind of just a way of saying, hi, how are you? It's like a greeting, right?
So that also, like, that really strikes me as like cultural contrast. So that made me think about like the meaning of pop in Korea.
Okay.
But just for your information, I'm not talking about the grain rice itself.
Like meals.
Just in case. Yes. For Koreans, like pop is more just than food.
Oh, yes.
Like, it symbolizes like life, sustenance, warmth, and cultural identity.
Well, you went deep with the pop.
I searched the pop's meaning
right,
from the reality shows.
Okay.
That's what I found.
Okay.
So it's not just a staple dish. It's actually deeply like woven into language, traditions, and social interactions.
Yes.
It's like, so when we say goodbye to our acquaintance or friends, we say, 그래, 밥 한 번 먹자.
Yes.
You know, that's like, see you later.
Kind of like, see you, take care, but we're probably not going to meet up again. Maybe, kind of? Yes.
We can, possibly.
But maybe not. Sometimes, you know, it depends on how you say it, I guess.
We don't really set the time.
No. Unless you say specifically, let's meet next week
at that
time for lunch
somewhere.
or whatever. Yeah.
Right. And also like 밥줄 refers to like job, not just the food.
Right.
So that was fascinating to see how cultural value differences were like naturally embedded in even reality shows. So that was most striking feature to me.
Yes.
And also it was interesting to see the shows like I might never be able to see in Korea. Even how the cultural values like developed.
Okay.
So the cultural difference, because of the cultural difference, such as like the ultimatum. which with the subtitles with marry or move on, because the meaning of propose
Yes.
is different in Korea
Right.
to the Western country.
I agree because like the whole idea of like proposing in Korea is you've already decided to get married. Like there's usually a date set for the wedding, usually, right? And then it's kind of like a formality.
Yeah,
like kind
that-
of like
exactly.
다 뭐 사귀고 뭐 상견례하고 sometimes, right?
Yeah.
The meeting of the two sides of the family. And then kind of like
So everything
Right.
is set already.
right, it's not a surprise.
Yeah. So it's like ticking the clock. I'm like, okay, when are you gonna-
When are you going to propose?
just before the
Yeah.
marriage? the
Yeah,
wedding?
and so, which is quite different from like non-Korean cultures
the Western
where like
country, yeah.
it's sometimes like really a surprise
Yeah.
and like it's just different.
So
the tone
that's
of
why
the
I
proposal.
thought like, oh, this kind of show couldn't be in Korea. Maybe like I don't know, like but later, but not
Right.
for now.
like 갑자기 let's get married like for real. Yeah, that's true.
Or the show that I watched in Australia was the biggest one was like Married at First Sight.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the direct title as it is. So it's
do the couples make it like beyond?
Yes,
They
yes,
do. Some
There
of them
are
do.
some. Yes, yes, yeah. So they obviously they get married at first sight. They see each other first time at the wedding. But this kind of show is far too open for Koreans' reality. Like it's
We have a message from 성이 이름 waiver who says 제가 가장 이상한 거 결혼하기로 하고 propose하기. Like I mean that's like for non-Korean cultures it's different. I mean nothing's better or whatever or worse. Where it's like it's already kind of like you already know what's going to happen. There's no like thrill or drama like what if she says no? Like
there's no
the wedding's like already set. Yeah, so
nerve-wracking like thing.
will she
will
say
she like
yes
this
or
will
like
she accept?
will she like the ring? Like
Yeah.
no, because you probably picked it out together already right here in Korea.
Basically.
So real changes like differences in the cultures I can definitely see. But the whole idea of married at first sight. Well, do you believe personally at least in love at first sight? Because I was watching the final episodes yesterday of a certain, love reality thing on Netting. And then, like, one of the guys was like, like, 첫눈에 약간, like, 반했다 or, like,
I am that time.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
you believe in love at
I
first sight.
need the spark.
Oh, the spark in the beginning?
Yeah. That needs. If I don't have a spark at the first sight,
Yes.
I will never have it.
Oh, I heard someone in my ear. 큰일이다. I'm like, I wonder who said that.
Maybe I make myself in trouble, but
No.
that's me. That's me.
But I believe in that spark, that chemistry needs to be there.
The
Because
chemistry.
you know what? It wears off later. So just letting you know.
at least at first sight, I need that.
You need that something. Okay. Well,
Correct.
I'm curious about everybody else. So let us know what you're thinking. Oh, we have a message from 도토리 waiver. 미국은 propose 받고 no 많이 하나요? I actually do know at least one couple where she said no. She said, I love you, but I don't want to marry you. And they broke up right after because he couldn't take it. And I don't blame him. They were dating for 8 years.
And then
Yeah. And Julie said no to Watts.
I saw
Real names.
some of them.
Yes.
Some girls said because he proposed me in front of the bunch of tourists.
Oh,
there
like
was
she
a
didn't like
tourist
it?
bus,
And she said no?
And then she could I couldn't say no.
But I wanted to say no.
Yeah. She couldn't say. She was like, there's a bunch of
Oh.
tourists, like 20 or 30 people getting on the bus.
Yes.
So I couldn't say no. I don't know if you say real, but yeah.
Well, we could go on for hours, but we can't because it's the end of hour number 1
Yes.
already. But thank you for enlightening us with all these differences. And of course, we'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, everybody. And it's time to close out hour number 1 with this song, track 9 by 이소라, as requested by Benny. I'll be back at 8.
나는 알지도 못한 채 태어나 날 만났고 내가 짓지도 않은 이름으로 불렸네 걷고 말하고 배우고 난 후로 난 좀 변했고 나대로 가 그렇게 태어났고 태어난지도 모르게 그렇게 잊혀지겠지 존재하는 게 어느 외로도 지나면 끝뿐 나대로 가고 멈추고 불었네 세상은 어떻게
Your bridge to the world. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
교통안전. 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
These are the guidelines for action for people in the event of an apartment building fire. First, if evacuation is possible in the event of a fire in your home, move to a safe place in a low posture by using stairs. And if evacuation is difficult, move to an evacuation space or block the door gap and call 119 for rescue. Second, if a fire breaks out in another home and no flames or smoke enters your home, wait inside the home, call 119, and act according to the announcement. Third, if flames and smoke come into your home in the event of a fire in another home, check to see if evacuation is possible and then evacuate or request rescue. This was brought to you by the Ministry of the Interior and Safety and the National Fire Agency.
살림꾼 김재우의 살림템 추천. 창틀 바람막이로 실내 온기 지켜줄게. 포장은 다회용기로. 플라스틱 거절한다. 우리 식재료로 유통을 줄이면 탄소를 줄일 수 있어. 이 모든 건 기후위기에 대응하는 지구 살림템. 여러분도 함께해요. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Good morning, Dynamic Busan.
Yeah, you're waking up. Time to shake it up. Tell the world good morning and find out what's going on.
Well, hi Hi there, folks.
There's everything from comedy to lively chat to music.
Broadcasting from a room about the size of your closet.
All calls are recorded. What show is this?
Live from Korea's dynamic city, this is Morning Wave in Busan.
I'm sorry, who'd you say you were?
It is now 8 o'clock and this is News Highlights. Witnesses testify about December 3rd during impeachment trial. Witnesses at the 7th oral arguments of President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment trial testified to the urgency of the night of December 3rd, while the President and the National Assembly's representative publicly clashed at the hearing. Former Interior Minister Lee Sang-min denied that he ordered for the power and water to be cut off to major media outlets and claimed that he tried to stop the president from declaring martial law. Presidential senior secretaries also testified that they tried to stop the martial law imposition. Meanwhile, President Yoon Suk-yeol and National Assembly's representatives Chung Cheong-nae clashed over whether declaring martial law was a part of the president's constitutional rights or a destruction of the Constitution. Government response to U.S. steel and aluminum tariffs. The Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Energy said yesterday that it is closely monitoring and communicating with local businesses and industry leaders to devise ways to minimize the impact from new U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. Earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order imposing 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum products coming into the U.S. starting on March 12th. The announcement sparked concerns. South Korean companies could be directly influenced by the anticipated U.S. tariffs, as South Korea was the fourth largest exporter of steel and aluminum to the United States last year. Teacher in fatal stabbing expressed frustration at school. A teacher accused of stabbing an 8-year-old student to death at an elementary school in Daejeon has said she was annoyed at being excluded from a class, police said yesterday. The female teacher in her 40s gave this statement to police after admitting she stabbed the girl on the second floor of the school on Monday. The suspect also stabbed herself and is currently recovering at a hospital. The Daejeon Metropolitan Police Agency said it has secured court warrants to detain the teacher for questioning and search her home and vehicle to confiscate cell phone, hospital records, and other items as well for evidence. Netanyahu threatens to end Gaza ceasefire. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the Gaza ceasefire will end if Hamas does not release Israeli hostages on Saturday, after Hamas said it would not release 3 Israelis as planned this weekend, citing alleged Israeli violations of the ceasefire. U.S. President Donald Trump warned of grave consequences if Hamas does not release all remaining hostages. Trump is hosting Jordan's King Abdullah as he doubled down on his plan for the U.S. to take control of Gaza. Trump suggested withholding aid to Jordan and Egypt if they don't cooperate with his Gaza resettlement plan. Speed skater Lee Seung-hoon writes history at Asian Winter Games. South Korea collected 4 more medals in speed skating at the Asian Winter Games in China yesterday, including Lee Seung-hoon, who won the silver in men's team pursuit, setting their record for winning the most Asian Games medals. Rising star Lee Na-hyun won bronze in the women's 1,000-meter race and Ta Min-gyu with a silver in the men's 1,000-meter race. Men's hockey and men's curling both advanced into the semifinals, and figure skater Ta Jun-hwan ended his short program in second place with 94.09 points. With 12 golds, 12 silvers, and 11 bronze medals, South Korea is in second place overall. And this was News Highlights. It's now time for 와글와글. That means Haley's back.
Hello.
Yes. I was so busy looking at like Leslie's response because I did throw out the question out there about do you guys believe in love at first sight?
No, sorry. Just
Really?
for IMO, in my opinion, love is complicated coming from the single girl, but it's built on trust, shared values, shared experiences. But, attraction, spark, connection at first sight, yeah, definitely. But for me, it takes a while for me to say I love you. So,
Looking at some of the responses, Leslie says maybe not love at first sight, but definitely connection at first sight. Umberto, he says, as a guy, yes.
Oh.
Benny says, I think connection too as a guy. I don't know, but my roommate keeps on insisting. Like,
I think we really should have your roommate here at one point.
because I mean, he insists like he saw a halo.
I remember that.
Right. He said he saw a halo.
I mean,
and
you
he
guys
knew
are
I was the
happily
one.
married. You guys have been happily married with 3 children, not 5, but 3. So
I don't know about the happily, but yeah. No, I'm kidding. 너무 행복해요. No. Okay.
I'm gonna zip my mouth and just.
Are you listening?
Yeah.
사랑해요. Okay. 와글와글 first story. I'm covering my butt just in case he's listening. Okay. One of the biggest stars on the music scene right now is, of course, Kendrick Lamar, winner of 5 Grammys and the Super Bowl halftime performer. And behind his recent spike in popularity is this song. It's a diss track, Not Like Us, right? And you are here to help us kind of wade through, parse through the waggliness of it all.
Right. So
it's
when
complicated.
the feud or
Yes.
the beef was going on last year,
Yes.
that was really the peak of it. I considered doing it, but I was like, is it too insider Hollywood? But then Kendrick Lamar goes to win 5 Grammys and he's a Super Bowl performer. So we do. Now we do. So this has been my obsession for the past 72 hours.
Yes.
By the way, full disclaimer, we're talking about the musicality and cultural aspects. So I will be giving no legal background or because there's a lawsuit involved or any moral judgments. So Not Like Us, the Billboard topper, one of the most popular songs. It was the song of the summer.
Right.
It is a diss track. And in hip hop, you dissing someone and making a song to diss someone, it happens all the time.
All the time. It gives you street cred.
It does, but
Right.
it never makes it onto, it rarely ever makes it onto the Billboard charts or
That's
let alone
true.
win Grammys.
Right.
So the joke is if you're going to hate like Kendrick Lamar. So this is the song. I know you watched the Grammys and when he won the record of the year and this won record and the song of the year, everybody in the theater was singing a minor and people are wondering why. So let's take a listen to a bit of a clip from the Super Bowl.
Fully defro, say Drake. I hear you like I'm young. You bet like him go to self. Why you trolling like ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably a minor.
And this is the entire Super Bowl stadium singing, shouting a minor.
Just like that. So if I get this straight, if this is correct, the song came out of a feud between Kendrick Lamar and another megastar, Drake, right?
Right. So this feud actually has been going on for about a decade, but it did blow up last year. So bit of background. Who are these people? Huge stars. But Drake is one of the biggest pop/hip hop stars. So he's the one with the massive popular appeal.
Right.
He does have an acting background as well, I believe. Kendrick Lamar has had more of an artist reputation, and
He's more the artsy one.
He's the artsy one. By the way, he made history in 2018 when he won the Pulitzer.
I know. I know.
The Pulitzer.
They're did you know he won a Pulitzer? I'm like, who?
They can.
Really?
Because there's a music category, but he is the first, not even a rapper, but he's the first non-classical or non-jazz artist to ever win a Pulitzer.
By the way, we're not citing, it's not Haley is supporting Drake and I'm
we're
supporting.
not Team Drake, Team
PD님
Kendrick
이거 좀
Lamar.
그렇다.
That's
딱 중간에 놓으면 우리 편드는 거
what
같잖아요.
are you doing? What are
I
you trying
know.
to? What feud are you trying to prove?
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
excuse me. And by the way, he after that album, and it's spelled DAMN, and I can't say that word on air, so he didn't release an album for 5 years. And then the feud started back in 2013. I can't go through the 12 years of it all, but Kendrick basically called out Drake and other rappers. Fast forward 10 years. In Drake and J. Cole's Billboard Hot 100 #1 song, First Person Shooter, there's a line that references them as like the big three, including Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
He wasn't having it. Kendrick Lamar is like, we're not one. I'm not one out of three. I'm the one. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying the man doesn't have ego, but right.
So you needed ego.
Exactly. This kind of was the starter of it all, and you know, firing diss tracks one after the another. There was like a back-to-back issue, and then so in these multiple songs, Kendrick Lamar. Well, first, Drake accused Kendrick Lamar of domestic violence. I'm not fact-checking any of this. That's for, you know, lawsuits and law enforcement to do that.
Yes.
And then Kendrick Lamar accused Drake of having a secret daughter.
Aside from his
son, whose identity was Adonis, was released through another artist's song.
Yes.
Right. So, and then all of that later, in comes Not Like Us. Kendrick Lamar in this song made some serious accusations, so these are his words, against Drake, calling him a phony, a colonizer of rap culture, and most shockingly, we're not even there yet, a pedophile. Right.
Okay, so we have to, what is a pedophile?
So a pedophile is 아동성애자, so it's someone who is attracted to children. There were previous allegations with Millie Bobby Brown, a teenage star, that she had a very close personal friendship with Drake, that he allegedly like texted her and they would talk very late into the hour. He was in his 30s when this happened, so just... So that line, a minor, it's the line is you try to strike a chord and it's probably A minor, which is a musical chord.
Yes, like
but
guitar, piano. Yes.
It's a pun, a minor, meaning an underaged person.
I have to say, I'm not taking sides.
Right.
But that was kind of brilliant. A minor. Yeah. So,
I mean, yeah.
All right, so who won?
So we're talking once again about culture and music. Kendrick Lamar, because number one, this is the chart-topping song.
Okay.
One of the hottest songs of last summer. So big that he performed at the Super Bowl, which is the biggest stage of them all.
Right.
And then, in a move that shocked a lot of people, Drake took this to the court. He filed a lawsuit. Interestingly, not against Kendrick Lamar, but against
universe and like hip hop artists.
Well, there's one word that pops into my mind, but I can't say it. It's
we can't say it?
기억 and then like O. Yeah, I can't say that. I did, but I can't say that. It's that. I'll type it in our notification.
Okay.
Right.
What street cred means.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just did.
Yeah. So it just means like basically like keeping it real.
Right.
Is
having that like reputation on the street as being like the tough guy, being the cool guy.
Oh, Haley wrote it.
Right. Yeah. So it's that.
Oh, we can't say that?
We can't say that.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah. Now we know.
Now we know. Okay, can't say it. Okay.
It's Japanese.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Right. So once again, this lawsuit made Drake kind of the butt of the jokes online of like, oh, well, and then actually Kendrick Lamar referred to this in the Super Bowl performance. So let's listen to this particular line.
I want to make a move. I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue.
What song?
Yeah, that song.
That was a teaser in the middle of the performance.
Yeah.
He says, I want to perform Not Like Us, but you know they love to sue.
Yes.
So
meaning, not our Sue. 우리 수님 말고요.
Not our Sue. Spelled the same way, but they love to
고소하다.
Right.
Yes,
yeah.
Now let's talk about the performance. I mean, this was kind of divisive though. Some people loved it.
Right.
And I believe even some of our waivers mentioned they really didn't like it.
Right. But it was layered. So it was very layered. And I mean, I could have an entire segment about parsing this through. I won't. About Black culture, subversion, racial relations, including Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Featuring as Uncle Sam, who's like a propaganda character of like this Uncle Sam, I want you for military recruitment. References to 40 acres and a mule, which is what was promised to the slaves when they were freed. And it basically means promises that were never kept.
Exactly.
Because they never got their 40 acres and a mule.
Yes.
And then special guest appearance from Serena Williams, the GOAT. Serena Williams, the tennis star.
Player.
Doing the Crip Walk or the Sea Walk. By the way, this is a dance that it does have gang associations because it was created by the Crips, which is an LA gang. It was later adopted into the hip hop community, but why? Two things. Yes, she is allegedly Drake's ex-girlfriend, and they've had their own beef. Drake released a diss track about her husband.
Yes.
But also, Serena Williams was very much criticized in the 2012 London Olympics when she won the gold, but did this crip walk at Wimbledon court. So they said she was like glorifying gang violence. By the way, her sister died from gang violence, or it was implicated in gang violence. And then people said, well, this is racially charged, and tennis has a whole history
she's from
of
Compton, though.
She is from Compton, which is kind of it's a neighborhood in LA that's associated with kind
gangs.
of gangs and
Not her,
poverty.
Though. Right.
By the way, Kendrick Lamar and Serena Williams, both from Compton.
Okay.
Right.
That
so
connection.
whole thing of layers once again. And by the way, adding just my final bit of layers to this.
Yes.
Pundits say this whole the fuel of this popularity of the feud may speak more about the state of American psyche and pop culture, kind of the focus on hate, revenge, and comeuppance. So, yeah. Many cultural under and overtones.
I see. And as some of our listeners are saying, 디스나 싸우지 말고 행복하게 사세요. Like, you guys are such like peaceful creatures. And then JB's like, rap battle. Oh,
Drop the beat.
Drop the beat, yeah. I mean, but thanks for like going through all the like
now we know
details. Now we know more about what was going on culturally. We're going to move on for now, though. Another issue that's not just about what's on the surface, the battle of plastic versus paper straws. And by the way, I have an opinion.
Everyone does.
I do not like paper straws. I'd rather just drink it straight.
Exactly. I do not like, personal opinion, I do not like the taste of paper straws,
Right.
but I also understand the problem of plastic straws.
Of course.
So, clearly, it's political though. But you know who's also not a fan of paper straws? Donald Trump.
Oh.
So, President Trump signed an executive order. So we're getting to that territory that reverses a measure that was signed by former President Joe Biden. Basically, it gives directives to government agencies to stop buying paper straws, and it calls for a strategy to eliminate paper straws nationwide because it really reverses what the Biden administration did, which was the plan to phase out plastic straws due to their environment problems. But Trump's opinion, his direct words, paper straws don't work, and they disgustingly dissolve in the mouths of consumers.
You got to drink quickly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not agreeing with Trump. I'm just
Right.
saying, generally speaking, paper straws, they kind of like
They dissolve.
crumble,
They do. They have a
dissolve.
flavor.
Right.
I have a silicone
Yes.
straw. So yeah.
Well, we need to end this feud-filled segment on a good note. So there is this story of a person caring for another person.
Right. So I love to have like an engineer student or engineer major at home, because then whatever computer problem you have, you're like, here, brother-in-law, take care of this. Look at my laptop. What's wrong with it? But this is to another level.
Yes.
An engineering student, a son, made an app just for his mom so she wouldn't miss the bus. I mean,
That is so cute.
right?
Just for his mom?
Just for his mom. So why? Because there are apps for this. All
Okay.
right. So Seo-chan is an AI software convergence major, fancy, at Dongguk University. His hometown, it's a small village in Busan, but their home is right next to the starting point of the bus. So the apps, usually they tell you where the bus is, but that
Right.
means in existing apps, it'll show the bus when it leaves the garage, giving them 3 minutes to make it to the bus stop. By the way, their home is 5 minutes away, so she's always
like
missing
running.
the bus.
Yeah.
And you could be asking, well, she could just wait. The buses are 30 minutes apart. She's not going to wait.
30 minutes.
So and you can see the mother-son, he made an app just for the mom, which gives information on the bus's schedules and even gives recommendation of, hey, mom, you should leave now.
That's so cute.
Isn't this is the sweetest?
Can I adopt him?
Right.
We have
Or,
room.
I mean, getting you closer to the 5.
Yeah.
So he made a video of
Yes.
himself developing this app. That has over 6 million views on social media. By the way, he's graduating and going to Carnegie Mellon University to be an AI researcher.
Oh.
He says that for most AI models, their learning database is from the West.
Right.
So it's his goal to kind of even out the cultural biases that may come from this uneven learning curve that comes from data sets from the West. So the kid's going places, as I'm saying.
And what a sweet son.
Right. So, I mean, engineering, it's all about the sciences, but there needs to be heart behind it. And obviously, this is an engineer with a big heart.
Yay.
Yay.
Good for him. Congrats to the mother. Thanks for all the Wager stories. And of course, we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right. Now it's time for your updated traffic and weather. Well, there's a lot to report on in our traffic report. So a portion of Omgungnamno, right around the Shin-Omgung Daedong apartment, it is closed due to ice. An accident on Nakdong-daero at Gupo Station going toward Gupo three-way intersection has been detected. Also congestion on Hwangmyeong-daero from Daenam Underpass all the way through Hwangmyeong Tunnel. Also, there is traffic buildup on the Dongso overpass from Sasang to Jure direction. And also looking quite slow on Nakdong-namno from the Cheongnangsa-Ogi intersection to the Gangso police station. What does that mean? You need to be extra careful out there today. As for the weather, it is Jeongul Daeborum, the first full moon of the lunar calendar. Major traditional holiday to prepare for the year ahead. Currently, it is 3 degrees here in Busan, but there is rain. Some parts are seeing snow. Let us know wherever you are what it seems like. The daytime high will go up to 11. The roads once again are icy, so please be careful. Across the country, snow is coming down heavily in many parts of the country, but most of the country is seeing temperatures above zero for the first time in a while. Please, once again, be careful, everybody, wherever you are. This was your traffic and weather. And this is Heart in the Window by Jin and Wendy as requested by Leslie.
시간 너무 새하얗게 번져
Welcome back, everybody. So before we get into our special interview, I'm going to go over just a couple more of your responses of what have you been into? What are you latched onto? What are you really interested in these days? So we have a message from Kyungsu Waver on our Kakao Talk board. 요즘 내가 관심을 가지고 있는 것은 한강 소설가 작품을 차례대로 독서하는 것입니다. 노벨 문학상을 받은 작가의 글을 읽고 느끼고 생각하니 힐링과 위로 마음이 토닥토닥 희망이 됩니다. So they say that they've been reading 한강. We all know she won the Nobel Prize in Literature recently, so reading them kind of in order and getting a bit of healing and, just taking time to take things in and think about things. So thank you for that message in terms of what you've been up to these days. And in terms of like that straw, somebody was asking about the whole straw issue. Yes, the paper straws may be inconvenient, but of course we have to think about the environment and plastic. Building up so much. So, I just opt to not use any straw if I can, just to sip from whatever cup, even if it's, an iced something, just directly from the cup. Even when I go through like a drive-through, I just say, no, it's okay. I don't need the straw, whether it's plastic or paper. All right, we're going to get to our special interview. I'll be back in just a moment. Have you heard about this? That an asteroid could hit Earth in 2032. And I know some of you on our board, you were saying like, oh, it's just like Armageddon or some other type of film that you might have seen, right? Well, astronomers are closely watching asteroid 2024 YR4, a space rock with a small chance of colliding with Earth on December 22nd, 2032. It was initially detected in December of last year, and its estimated impact probability has slightly inched up. So I think we're standing at around 2%. That's according to NASA and the European Space Agency. So while scientists believe the asteroid will likely pass by safely without making, contact, there are ongoing observations using modern technology. So let's find out more, understanding the risks and how experts track such threats that can help us really understand the situation better. We have invited Professor John T. Horner, who is an astrobiologist and astronomer based at the University of Southern Queensland. So let's say hi. Hi, welcome to our program.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So first, can you explain what this asteroid is exactly? And I know I did initially say that it was discovered not too long ago, but get into a little bit more of the details of the story.
So basically, we're continually scouring the sky looking for things that pass near the Earth. And they're easier to find the closer they are to the Earth. So that's why we quite often don't find these things until they're very nearby, because we see them by reflected sunlight. And if they're twice as far away, they're 4 times fainter. So the closer they get, the brighter they are, the easier they are to see. And that's why this thing was found on 27th of December. It had actually passed closest to the Earth a couple of days before that, so was already moving away when we found it. And we've been following it ever since.
Yes,
what
yes.
we see of this,
Oh, go on, Professor. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay, that's fine. I talk too much. What we see of this object in the night sky, even with the world's biggest telescopes, is a single point of light. We can't zoom in and see the physical shape of the object or the size. So we have to try to infer how big it is and what it's made of based on how bright it is. And our best estimates are that it's somewhere between about 40 and 100 meters across. If it's really reflective, it's nearer to 40 meters. If it's really dark, it's nearer to 100 meters. What it's probably made of is rubble and rock. That's the most likely thing. But there's a small chance that it could be a lump of metal. And what it's made of will have an effect on what would happen if it were to hit us. But as you've said, it is more likely to miss than hit. So I really don't want anybody to panic. And an object this size, even if it did hit us, would probably not cause anybody to have a bad day unless you were really unfortunate and it hit directly over your city.
Oh, I see. So that's good to know that, the likelihood of it happening is, not too great. So in terms of this asteroid, is it correct to call it a 2024 YR4? Is that what it's called?
It is, and that's like a unique designation, like a license plate on a car. So it just tells us when it was discovered. So the 2024 tells us it was discovered in the year 2024. The letter Y tells us which 2-week period of the year it was in. So if it was in the first 2 weeks of the year, that would be an A. The second 2 weeks, it would be a B. So the Y means the last 2 weeks of the year. And then the R4 part is just which object in line it was when it was discovered. So the first one will be 1, then 2, then 3, and then you start adding letters. So lots of objects are being found all the time. So every object gets a unique name that just tells you when it was discovered, and that's about it. Yes. Once we know more about the object, once we've followed it, probably in 2028 when it comes close again and we get more information, we'll then know its orbit well enough for them to give it a number and a name, and then it'll have an official name that will probably be given by the discoverers, to be honest, given that this is an asteroid.
Right, right. And the thing is this, I mean, you know, with pop culture, with films and whatnot, already your listeners, when I actually said that we're going to have this type of interview in our earlier in our number when I intro this, people were mentioning things like Armageddon, was it Last Impact, you know, all of those kind of doom and gloom kind of films, which of course is very Hollywood, but, you know, people are genuinely concerned, like, could this happen where, like, you know, we have to go out and, like, destroy it before, if, you know, further on down the timeline, if the experts say, hey, this is coming, like, you know, like, it's going to make impact and there might be, you know, I don't know, possibly bigger damage than we expected. I mean, are they going to have to shoot it out of the sky or anything like that? Or is that just way too far sci-fi?
Well, what I'd recommend is that if people want the scientific take on it, please don't trust Armageddon, because much as that was a fun film, it was about as scientifically incorrect as you could possibly get. It was terrible in many ways. The worst thing you could do in most cases would be to destroy the object. So if something's coming towards us, and let's say it's a 100-meter object, let's say this is at the big end of the size range. If we blow it up, all of the pieces keep traveling in the same direction. So instead of the Earth getting hit once, we get hundreds or thousands of impacts that are nearly as big, but not quite. So you take one bullet and turn it into a shotgun blast. So the tagline of Armageddon really should have been, watch Bruce Willis destroy humanity. But, you know, that is by the by. What we would want to do, if it turns out that this thing is going to hit us,
yes,
and as I said, that's a 2% chance, we'll be certain of that one way or the other in 2028, because this thing comes past again then and we'll get more observations.
Indeed.
With those observations, we will be able to work out exactly where it would hit us within just a few tens of kilometers. Now, most likely, that will be over the ocean and nothing will happen other than they'd divert a few planes and a few boats to avoid anybody being in the impact zone. If it was over land, most likely it will be over somewhere fairly uninhabited and it's easy enough to move people away. It's not a problem. Something this size hitting the Earth would cause damage over about the area of a city. And there's a lot of area of the Earth that isn't city. So there's a lot of places for it to hit where it won't be a problem.
I see.
If you got that worst case scenario and it was predicted to hit somewhere where there were a lot of people, then we could look at deflecting it. And with 4 years certainty on that, I think we'd have plenty of time to try and work on that. Now, I think it's a really reassuring thing that we've had life on Earth for more than 3,000 million years. Nobody's sure exactly how long. It's only in the last couple of decades that any species on the Earth has had the ability to find things that could hit the Earth, predict when they will hit the Earth, and observe it happen. And we've seen that happen on 11 different occasions now with much smaller asteroids. We found them before and watched them hit us. It's only in the last 5 years that any species in the history of our planet has demonstrated the ability to deflect asteroids like this. And NASA did that with its double asteroid redirection test mission DART a couple of years ago. So we live in this incredibly privileged and unique time where out of more than 3 billion years of life, we are the first generation that has the ability to recognize this threat and defend ourselves. And in this case, if we did find it was going to hit somewhere that would be problematic, we have the wherewithal to deflect it. It's just a question of whether politicians would choose to do that because it would cost a lot of money.
I see. Very interesting. And thanks for letting us know about that. So as we try to wrap up this discussion, Professor, and for the general public, you know, obviously we're not experts or scientists. What should we understand when it comes to asteroids? Because I don't want people to, you know, be alarmed because obviously from what you're saying, even if it does come into contact with Earth, it's not going to be a major issue. But what do we really need to understand as the basic foundation in terms of asteroid threats?
Well, what we need to know is that the Earth will be hit again. It's not a question of if it'll be hit again, it's a question of when. We're kind of flying around in a celestial shooting gallery.
Yes.
Objects this size aren't really a threat unless they're coming right over a city. And we saw a smaller object like this hit near the Russian city of Chelyabinsk in 2013. There's incredible footage. So if you look around on YouTube, look around online, you can see that footage and you'll get a feel for what this will be like, but this will be bigger. What we really are concerned about are objects that are more like a kilometre or so in size or bigger than that, because they're the things that could cause regional or global devastation. And they're also harder to deflect because they're bigger, they carry a lot more momentum, so they're harder to push aside. The point with all that is that it is really important that we keep looking for these things. Like I said, we have the ability to find them and predict them now, and bigger things are easier to spot because they're bigger and they reflect more light. But we've always got to be vigilant. It isn't like there will come a stage where we can say, we found everything that's threatening, we can stop looking now, because there's always something new coming in that we haven't seen before.
Right.
And it doesn't take a huge amount of money. I know it's changed a little bit, but when I was younger, there were fewer people looking for these kind of asteroids worldwide than work in your average McDonald's. Now that's changed a little bit, but it's not a huge investment of money to protect ourselves against something that will happen again. It's probably not going to happen in our lifetime. The timescale between big impacts is very long. But if we don't look and something is coming, we won't find it. So it's just a case of please don't panic, but be aware that this is a threat. And if there are ever discussions about why are we giving astronomers money, this is one of the reasons. It's to help protect ourselves. It's like paying your insurance. You hope your house won't burn down, but you pay the insurance in case it does.
Oh, what a great analogy. Well, good to know that we have you, all the experts out there, as you say, scouring to make sure we're safe from any threats. Thank you so much for schooling us, for educating us today, and we do appreciate your time. Thank you, Professor.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
This was Professor Jonty Horner, and we talked about this asteroid that could possibly hit Earth in 2032, but after everything he said, I'm definitely not worried. I hope you aren't either. And from that film that was so unscientific, how about this? I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith.
Get your local up-to-date news from Korea and abroad right here on Morning Wave in Busan with Catherine. Stay tuned.
It's time for Jennifer and Skills 101, which means Jennifer's here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can we get an update on the rain? Is it still raining?
It's
a little bit?
drizzle. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but it's much warmer. I'm just grateful.
Yeah, that
the
it's
bitter
not
cold
like-
is over.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Knock
Cross
on
my
wood.
fingers.
그 나중에 또 꽃샘추위 오잖아요 또.
그게 꽃샘추위가 지난주 아니었나요? I'm hoping.
Praying. Yes. Well, today what are we talking about today?
Okay. Have you ever noticed how the way we speak affects not only others but also ourselves? Like it changes your mood?
Of course.
Yeah. So today's topic is all about transforming negative speech and attitudes into more positive ones.
Okay.
You know, I strongly believe words become actions. The way we talk shapes our mindset, behavior, and relationships even.
Really? So this, I don't know, definitely feel like this is something I nudge my roommate into. I nudge him and say, I understand what you're trying to say, but can you say it a little nicer? Especially when you're saying it to the kids. If the intention is good, but it kind of comes across sometimes as kind of rough around the edges, we'll say.
Yeah.
정말 포장하기 힘드네요. Rough around the edges.
We all have experience, right?
Yes,
I
yes.
used to say things like, I'm so bad at this. This is impossible.
Right.
This is so annoying. It wasn't until I started rephrasing them into, I'm still learning this. This is a challenge I can overcome. Then I noticed the shift in my attitudes.
Oh, those are good examples, though.
Yeah.
You could be saying, it's raining today. But you said, but it's much warmer.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Right.
The research shows that our brains react to our own words, what we say to ourselves.
Sure.
Dr. Carol Dweck, known for her work on mindset, talks about how a simple reframe can push us toward a growth mindset.
Yes.
For instance, instead of saying, I can't do this, you can add yet at the end.
Oh.
I can't do this yet.
아직은 조금 서툴지만 노력 중. Yes.
But it's going to happen.
Right. This is kind of like, what's that? 그 아이돌 이름도, the one who's always positive.
Oh, yeah.
장원영?
네.
Like she's
Lucky
always,
Mickey.
she's always so positive.
Yeah.
Right, I like that. Okay, so it turns a fixed limitation into a possibility at least, right? And, positive language, I think, it doesn't just mean ignoring reality. Because that, I think, is also bad. When you're totally so unrealistic, too positive.
That's a good point.
Right. But choosing words that kind of can help us, motivate us, move forward.
Yeah.
And kind of help us not be stuck where we are, in a rut, right?
Yeah, being positive doesn't mean ignoring negative emotions.
I hope
you can't do that. Yeah,
Right.
In fact, paying attention to them is really important.
So maybe if you can tell us a little bit more about this.
Sure. If you feel jealous of someone's success, for example, it's not just random negativity.
Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't criticize yourself for it. It might be showing you what you really want in life, but you feel you're lacking it.
Okay.
Or if someone's criticism makes you overly defensive and annoyed, maybe it's touching on an insecurity you need to work on. So you got to ask yourself why you're feeling that way.
Yeah, why are you being feeling?
Yeah.
When I say, myself included, why am I feeling so defensive? Right. So, we should be asking the big why. That's the point, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
The problem isn't the emotion itself. It's what we do with it. If we acknowledge it and learn from it, it won't control us. And that's especially important in leadership if you're working in a company.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how great leaders inspire through words? So instead of saying, we have a huge problem, there's a disaster, they ask, what's causing the issue? How can we improve? The way they frame challenge influences team morale and motivation.
I absolutely agree. And it makes a lot of sense what you're saying, right? So whether it's personal growth or just in leadership, how we phrase things really does matter. Like a small shift from this whole this report is a mess. Like how can we say that nicer? Like can we kind of refine this?
Yes,
and
together.
make it even better. Okay.
How can we make it better?
Right,
Yeah.
and I think the let's is that short word. Let's to me. I think it's really important.
아니고.
하세요가 아니라 합시다, like together.
합시다. 네.
Right.
Exactly.
Important.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not just in leadership. Think about relationships, whether it's with friends, family, or colleagues. Saying you always forget things, you're so lazy, can put someone on the defensive mode. While let's find a way to stay on top of this invites cooperation.
Right. Yes, and so instead of thinking I'm terrible at this, I'm so bad at this, you can reframe it to I'm improving on this task, a little bit every day.
Yes,
Right.
I'm getting better. It's
Yes.
amazing how much kinder self-talk can motivate us.
Like even to ourselves though, right?
Yeah.
Right, not to others, of course to others. But, I'm wondering if, isn't positive thinking sometimes just, I don't know, some people might say don't sugarcoat it. Just be honest, right? But what if someone genuinely messes up and it's kind of serious?
Oh, great question. Yeah. Positive speech isn't about pretending everything is fine.
Okay.
Mistakes happen and they can be valuable teachers. It's up to us to find out what we can learn and improve. So you shouldn't lie to yourself.
So, I don't know. When people say, sometimes this bothers me. Oh, everything happens for a reason. It's kind of like I just look at them and go, well, I understand. You probably don't want to say anything negative, so you want to be nice, and you're saying it. It sounds comforting, but does it really help someone improve? I don't know. I mean, might we dig a little deeper and say, well, what can we learn from this?
Imagine someone saying, I failed my presentation. I'm just terrible at public speaking.
Yes.
That's negative self-talk.
Right.
But instead of blindly saying, oh, no, it was great, I did a good job, which isn't helpful. You could say, I had a hard time with this one, but I can improve next time. There's room for improvement. What can I do?
So it's all about using positive speech to kind of encourage growth, whether it's self-growth or growth in other team members, than ignoring reality, right?
못하는 걸 잘한다고 할 수는 없잖아요.
We can't lie. We shouldn't lie, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to give false praise even to my students, where I teach. I try not to say overly praise. To me, that's also not good.
That's not good.
Right, because then they're thinking I'm good at this. I should continue down this path. Right? So I try to limit my, my overly praising kind of, self.
Yeah.
Limited praise and also a bit of constructive feedback.
Yeah,
on
there's
how they
always
can
room
improve.
for
Of
improvement.
course.
Yeah,
Me included.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
True positivity isn't about denying mistakes. It's about learning from them and moving forward with a growth mindset. And let's not forget the ripple effect.
Okay.
Positive speech doesn't just improve our own mindset, it uplifts others too. So think about how you feel when someone says, oh, you're doing great versus that's not good enough.
Right. So, how can we start transforming ourselves, whether it's speech or attitude? I'm sure there's a couple of things you can share with us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The most important thing, the first thing we should do is practice awareness. 알아차리는 것이 가장 중요하다고 생각합니다. So pay attention to your words and tone throughout the day. I know it's a lot of work, but once it becomes a habit, then it gets easier. So 먼저 알아차리는 게 중요하다 생각해요.
Be aware.
Yeah,
Okay.
be aware.
What's next?
And second, challenge yourself to reframe negative thoughts. If you catch yourself saying something like, this is so annoying, try replacing it with, this is a chance to practice patience.
But sometimes that practicing patience,
it's not easy.
it's difficult. But yeah, okay. Anything else?
And finally, surround yourself with positivity and positive people. Spend time with people who inspire you. and consume media that uplifts rather than drags you down. 뭐 이런 사람들 있잖아요. 나를 기빨리게 하는 사람들.
근데 not in a good way. Right.
Yeah, with negativity. So you try to avoid them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because it just usurps all your energy, and it's just like it zaps you of your energy, and then like they're spitting their negativity at you, and you're just like, no, thank you.
Don't come near me.
Yes. So really great tips, useful tips on how we can kind of change even our own negative speech patterns. And Leslie pointed out, like when I was talking about the let's do this, it's collaborative language. So thanks for pointing that out. And I think that's much more useful than saying,
I really think words are powerful tools we have.
Yes.
When we use them wisely, we will not only improve our own life, but also brighten the lives of those around us.
Right. I agree. So thank you for schooling us on this, how we can be more positive with our words and actions.
And
we'll try to practice this week.
Yeah, this is like positive self-talk for myself as well.
Oh, yes. Never at you. It's like,
네네. 오늘 아침에 이 메시지는 저 스스로에게도 하는 말입니다.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll check in with you next week. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Right. So, thinking about this, I hope that I am using collaborative language and that my actions and speech are welcoming and warm to each and every one of you, and not, I never mean to criticize. And, if we have bits of laughter, remember, we're laughing together. We're never laughing at you. Never on our program. Well, thanks for joining us today. And of course, our show is produced by Cho Yun-jin. We have our writers, Haley and Annie. And I'm your host, Catherine. I'll be back to do it all over again. But remember today, be careful out on the roads, whether you're driving or walking or going anywhere, because it's really slippery. All right. Here's Umberto's song request, This Life by Moon Sang-nam. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.
이대로 소리 없이 머물러줘 가만히 우연히 함께 있는 것처럼 아무런 향기조차 남아있진 않지만 너무나 길어지는 여운만 남아 Stay with me. Come with me. 없지만 조금씩 익숙해지고 있어 시간이 멈춰버린 것만 같은 이 순간 저 멀리 깜빡이는 불빛만 남아